All right, big news in the world of entertainment. Netflix has decided it will not renew its deal with Prince Harry and Meghan. It looks like the $100 million multi-year contract.
Netflix gave Meghan Markle everything, from huge sums of money to a massive platform where she had complete creative control. It was a golden opportunity to relaunch her career and reclaim the spotlight in Hollywood. Expectations were sky high. But what if I told you that this was the biggest mistake Netflix ever made? The creative control she was given to shape the show exactly how she wanted didn't lead to a breakthrough moment. Instead, it turned into a complete disaster. And in the end, the only way out for Netflix was to terminate the contract. So what went wrong? Meghan Markle and Netflix. When Meghan Markle stepped away from royal duties, it shocked everyone. People thought she wanted privacy, freedom, and a fresh start. But instead of staying away from the spotlight, she aimed right for the center stage. Soon after the couple left the royal family in 2020, they signed a massive deal. A $1 million deal where Netflix would shoot documentaries, series, and even children's content. Meghan wouldn't just be the producer, she would be the star of her show. It was a very bold move from Markle, and everyone thought she would make her big comeback in Hollywood. First, Netflix released a personal documentary of Meghan Markle. While it received media coverage and hype due to Meghan's past, the public soon started to lose interest. Critics called it dull, and audiences didn't stick around. That show didn't get the rating they had expected, but still, Netflix moved forward and decided to give her another show. Meghan landed a starring role in a scripted drama with the second season already in development. The show had a decent budget, a professional crew, and top-tier production support. This time, expectations were high once again. It was the series where Meghan could prove that she could carry a huge project on her own. But as the cameras rolled, something seemed off. And soon enough, the truth began to come through. Her ego and early signs of trouble. Right from the start of filming, the crew began to notice problems. Meghan would often be late to the set. Sometimes she would be hours behind the schedule. Other times, she didn't show up to the set at all. The crew had to wait around, unsure when or if she'd arrive. But even when she did show up on the set, things didn't get any easier. Meghan would constantly change her mind about her dress, her makeup, and even try to change her lines as well. Stylists and directors tried to adjust, but they were constantly playing catch-up. She would change the script at the last minute. These things delayed the production's time. Every delay cost money, and the schedule was slipping. Directors who had worked on tight sets before were shocked by the lack of professionalism. One crew member described it like this: "It felt like she thought she was above the production, like the whole show existed just to serve her." Even worse, Meghan would go against the director's instructions. When someone offered notes on a scene or pacing, she would shut it down. So the tensions grew. What was meant to be a friendly and creative atmosphere quickly turned into a tense place where everyone had to be cautious. And while the early signs were troubling, no one could have guessed what would happen next. A simple shot at the winery turned into the breaking point, and it changed everything. The wine incident. It was supposed to be a simple day on the set. Meghan would be sitting at a winery, sipping wine and chatting with co-stars. Things were supposed to be smooth, but instead, it turned sideways. As the crew wrapped this scene, they noticed something strange. Entire boxes of wine were gone, not a couple of bottles. Production assistants searched around, thinking someone had moved them by mistake. But they weren't. Meghan had reportedly dragged the boxes of wine to her trailer. Most people thought that she might have done this for the rehearsal of the scene, but instead she had taken the boxes for herself. That week, Meghan showed up late on set multiple times. Even her energy wasn't like usual. Crew members said that she was tipsy on the set. She slurred lines and missed cues. She destroyed the entire continuity of the shots. Directors tried to do what they could, but the footage was a mess. 2 full days of shooting had to be redone. That meant additional cost of the set, overtime pay, and hours of extra work. People were fed up. What was supposed to be a straightforward episode had become a money pit. Executives at Netflix, already angry with the bad press and subscriber issues, became more infuriated. Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters, two of the company's top leaders, demanded answers. Producers on season set were left scrambling. But this wine accident wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of the chaos. Toxic set culture. After that incident, everything got worse. Meghan's behavior went from reckless to toxic. She got into an argument with a producer just outside of her trailer. She made a scene in front of everyone. But what was the reason behind it? Someone had reportedly questioned why things were missing from her wardrobe. That is when things took another turn. Meghan wasn't just getting drunk on set. She was also taking dresses, jewelry, and props from the set. Staff saw her slipping items into her bags. Those things were needed for shooting the upcoming scenes. Now the production crew had to restock those items, which led to more delays, and it raised the cost of the show. But why did she become so rude? The crew was tired of her behavior. Extras and background actors started to quit the production. Directors even talked about shutting the production altogether. One said, "We weren't filming a show anymore. We were surviving a meltdown." People stopped making eye contact with her. The once collaborative atmosphere on set was now filled with tension. Netflix couldn't pretend anymore. They had a real problem, and it was coming from their lead actress. Netflix fights back. Netflix wasn't going to let it slide. The first rule they implemented was that there would be no more real alcohol on the set. From now on, every drink was fake. But it was just the beginning. Marketing plans were put on hold. The teaser trailer was delayed. Internally, editors said they didn't even have enough clean footage to put something together. Executives were furious. Ted Sarandos called the project a disaster. Greg Peters demanded daily updates. Netflix had poured money into this show, and now they couldn't watch it fall apart because of one actor. Legal teams reviewed Meghan's contract. They found clauses about bad behavior, showing up drunk, missing call times, and taking props. The evidence was stacking up. Behind the scenes, Netflix began to discuss its exit strategies. Could they remove Meghan from the show? Could they finish it without her? But one thing was clear. Netflix had lost faith in her, and she wasn't making it any easier. Meghan's PR disaster. Meghan's legal team jumped straight into action. They told reporters she was tired, misunderstood, and working under pressure. But no one was siding with her. Leaked stories from the crew told a whole different tale. One background actor even posted a TikTok saying Meghan stormed off set after someone offered feedback. Meanwhile, other networks were watching all of this drama unfold. NBC pulled out of a potential hosting deal. A parenting series that Meghan was supposed to lead got canceled. Quietly, Hollywood began stepping back. She was no longer seen as a star. Fans online noticed all of this. Reddit threads and comment sections were filled with confusion. Supporters started asking, what happened to her? But the spotlight around her was disappearing. The final blow. One day, Meghan arrived on set looking tired, and a crew member said she smelled like alcohol. When the director asked her to cooperate, she said nothing. Then, she left. And just like that, the next day, Netflix stopped everything. Production was shut down. Netflix was done. The executives were already under pressure. Harry's polo documentary had performed poorly and wasn't able to gather enough public interest. So, they decided not to renew the couple's €100 million deal. They believed they had already gotten the best content they could from the pair. Internally, the decision was made to end the contract without a public announcement. The final blow came when Meghan made it clear her Netflix work was no longer her top priority. And then Netflix refused to give her a second chance. And with King Charles and Idris Elba now partnering with Netflix on a new project, keeping Meghan on board would only be a distraction. Meghan had a chance to make her comeback in Hollywood once again. She had the spotlight, the support, and the platform to build something lasting. But this Netflix disaster showed something else. It showed what happens when power turns into entitlement, when a second chance becomes a second mistake. Meghan didn't just lose a show, she lost trust. And she may have lost the very thing Hollywood values most, reliability. Currently, there are no new deals, no new shows. In the end, The comeback everyone had expected never happened, and her Netflix chapter didn't end with a standing ovation. So, what do you think about Meghan Markle? Was her behavior a result of stress and pressure, or did she let fame and power get to her head? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe. Also, consider turning on the bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Until then, see ya.